What's up guys, it's Hazman12 and welcome to a video on how to make YouTube videos. So what we're going to do is we're going to do like my typical daily routine in producing a YouTube video, and hopefully it'll be helpful to some of you or interesting. Maybe if some of you aren't actually bothered, that's fine. But we're going to go through a typical football video, and then we're also going to do videos where I sometimes do FIFA or Facecam and just how I produce YouTube videos. So hopefully this is helpful. So the night before shooting a video is actually very key because it's all the prep that's involved in making sure nothing goes wrong with the video, because something always goes wrong. The video didn't really do anything wrong. So what I do is I make sure all the batteries are charging. So I have 3 batteries for the main camera, only one can charge at a time. So in the evening I have to constantly go back every hour to make sure that's charging. I have a double GoPro battery charger, and then you've got to make sure all the SD cards are swiped. But before you do this, you obviously want to check that there's no key video content on the camera. So make sure all the SD cards are swiped, and that's pretty much all the prep there is. So then there's the next day, and depending on your weather check, I usually get up about 8 o'clock to do some football videos, but obviously if the weather's not good then you change the time depending on when the weather is good enough. You need to pack everything for your day out on the football pitch. So I have the camera bag here. It's nothing special, just a standard bag. And things that you put in the actual bag are things like SD cards, micro SD cards for the GoPro, obviously all the batteries that you've charged the night before, and obviously you've got the GoPro, you've got the second angle camera, and you want to make sure you bring with you the things you attach the camera to the tripod, because I've definitely forgot a few of them, and then you can't actually get it on the tripod, and the camera is worthless. So that's that. And then you also want the wind muff. This is an absolute lifesaver. My dad got me this, and it has just helped in so many videos, especially with winter coming, and no Game of Thrones pun intended.
Winter is coming.
Obviously the main camera also goes in there with the microphone, and also you want the microphone batteries, and that's pretty much that all goes in this bag. And then I have a bigger bag that everything else goes in. So things that will go in there are things like tripods. I've got the GoPro goal attachment that you just clip it onto the bar. The one I have at the moment is actually too small to clip onto a full-size goal, because the ones at the pitch don't have a stanchion. So what I have to do is bring some tape to just tape round the GoPro around the bar. Otherwise the GoPro is worthless. And then also bring a few towels just in case there's rain. And there's probably going to be rain, let's be honest, just to cover up this main camera, because it's my dad's one. It's pretty much his pride and joy, so I don't want to destroy it. So bring a towel just to put over the top in case it rains. And then your packing's not done there. You got to bring all your footballs. I've got a big football bag full of I think I'm up to 8 footballs now. I mean, it sounds good having more footballs, but you got to go collect them all, and that's painful. And then I've also got to bring a football net bag full of obviously the net, and then the pegs to peg it down, and then the clips to clip it around the bar. And you're probably thinking, surely there is a goal with the net around you locally. No, there isn't. It's the most frustrating thing. Obviously Chrismd, he has the Fortress, which always has, well, I don't know, but always has nets available, and that's something I really wish we had locally, but you got to deal with it. So you got to bring the football net, and then that all goes in the car, and then I drive to the football pitch, and it's probably like 10-15 minute drive, not too long. And then I think the first thing I do is make sure all the footballs are pumped up, and then putting out the football net. Now this is something that it takes a while, because most of the time is spent doing this. It's not an easy job doing it by yourself. I mean, it's okay in the cold, especially. That is when it's difficult, because your hands are like just freezing. And the other day, the Ruben Neves volley challenge, it was freezing when I did that one, and I was trying to put the net up, and I actually couldn't clip the nets in because my hands were so cold. So I had to do like 5 shuttle sprints down the pitch just to get some blood to my hands so I could do it. And then you got to set up the cameras. You got to unpack them from the bag, the main camera where you want it depending on the challenge, put up the second angle camera, which is this one. It's always put in a bit of a risky position, but I have faith with this camera. It has been knocked so many times. It varies wherever I put it, really, on the challenge. It's just good to get a second angle on the main football challenge in case the main camera is blocked by myself. I usually put it either behind the goal or just a different angle behind me from the main camera. And then you have the GoPro, and I'll tape this round the bar with some tape because the GoPro mount can't actually clip onto the bar, as I said. And then this will obviously go in the top corner, which I'm aiming for. And then once you finish the challenge, I think it takes about maximum an hour to film the challenge, maybe a bit less. And then you gotta put all the cameras away, take the net down by yourself, back in the bag, back in the car, back home to have breakfast at about I would say 12 o'clock-ish. Yeah, it's a bit late to have breakfast, but I do this thing called intermittent fasting. My brother introduced me to it, and I actually prefer it. It's just basically where you wait till your body's actually really hungry to have breakfast, not have it immediately. I mean, it's irrelevant to this video, but there you go. Because I don't actually have any football footage available, because as I said, I need to delete everything as soon as I have finished the project, otherwise the Mac crashes. What I've done is just make a quick video of just me hitting the desk, so that creates a sound, and I'll show you how I actually sync up everything in the editing software. So yeah, let's do that now. So basically just what I'm doing is pretending the 3 angles I got of me hitting the desk is 3 angles of me doing a football challenge. Then you open up the GoPro, and inside is obviously the SD card. Take that out, and then you have an adapter, otherwise the micro SD card can't actually get in the Mac. So you don't want to lose that. So in it goes, and then it goes around the back of the Mac. In here, have my food while it's importing, because sometimes it takes a long time. So then once it's imported, you need to eject the disk. I was guilty of doing this before with my laptop, and now one of the SD cards slots is broken, but you need to make sure you eject it first. You can't just yank it out. Now you've got all your footage. Obviously, imagine this is football footage, just for the sake of it. So you got the second angle camera, that goes in, you got your GoPro. Obviously you want to sync them all up, because you want to make sure in editing it's as easy as possible to edit it. What I like to do is have the main angle camera first, and then have the GoPro underneath that, and have the second angle underneath that. There we go. I don't know why, I always have this OCD, I can't edit unless I have it full screen. It makes no difference, but that's the way I work. And then I like to, you click over here, and you zoom in. So you see what that does, you slide the slider and you zoom into the footage. If you were to imagine this is football footage, imagine these sound spikes are me kicking a football. So if I was to kick a football there, so that's when I'm actually hitting the desk, you can see there. So imagine I'm kicking a football there. So you look for the sound spikes and you just adjust them. Obviously I've started the second angle one first, so you would have to cut that in, and then you want to line up the sound spikes. So obviously when I do a football challenge, it will be longer footage and will last longer, but that is the base setup of how you sync it all up. I don't know if you want a not a full tutorial, but a more in-depth tutorial on how I edit. That's the basic brief syncing everything up. Some people do the clap to sync all the cameras up. It's the same idea. I just do kicking a football. Actually, I'll show you how you get music off of YouTube. So I would use the music from this YouTube channel called Non-Copyright Sounds. For the sake of it, just click on this one. So imagine we wanted to use that track in the video. I would then open a new tab and go to this website called Download Video and Audio. It's actually called YouTubemate.com. So what you would do, so you go back to the soundtrack that you want, you go on the link, and then you copy it in, you paste it in, and obviously you can select which quality you want, and then you click download. Obviously it's different for Windows. And always have water on set. Water is very key. You go on downloads and you literally just drag it in, and does this have a beat drop? So it's right here. So that is where the beat drop is. Drag it in there, and then I extend it like that, and then it will have a beat drop of me hitting the desk. So let's see how this looks. So you get the idea. Obviously it will make more sense if I was doing a good top bins penalty or something like that. But yeah, hopefully that's a good brief editing. If you want more in depth, then do let me know in the comments. But now I need to move on to the next thing. So I completely forgot to mention the editing software I use is called Final Cut Pro, and it might be out some people's budget range. So the software I would then recommend is called iMovie, and it's free, and it's just like the younger brother of Final Cut Pro. It works pretty much the same way, you just don't get all the added little things. So yeah. Editing, how long it will take, obviously it varies between videos. The football challenges I do, each challenge probably takes, I would say, 2 to 3 hours minimum of editing, and that's mainly because of all the camera angles I use, and it makes the computer very slow. Whenever I do a video over 10 minutes, the Mac computer literally just crashes on me and it's impossible to edit. So I have to edit things in little chunks. I can't do it all in one. And actually I forgot to mention, I have an external hard drive here. Basically what that has on it is all my meme clips that I put in, so it will be stuff like this.
Nothing to say. No.
And it will also have all my saved projects and all my saved thumbnails, so if YouTube, I don't know, took down my videos and I deleted them to save space on my Mac, I still have them on the backup drive. So that is another tip. I would 100% recommend a backup drive. So if I was recording some face cam, this will probably just be me introducing the video if it's just the football challenge. So obviously it's literally this just same setup, but my room is never usually this clean. I'll admit that. It usually has some clothes around here. It doesn't usually look this clean. So obviously I clean it up and I'll show you outside that door and in that corridor any spare clothes that I have lying around. All that I'll do is I'll just pick it up and put it outside and shut that door to make it look even more clean. And it does the job. I mean, you can't tell it's outside, so there you go. And also a tip for lighting, I always raise the curtain or the blind? One of them. I always raise that up to try and give some nice natural lighting. I don't have any lighting behind the camera, so that's what I rely on. And I actually think I prefer it. Well, the blind doesn't go all the way up, but that doesn't matter. But if I, say, had the camera this side, I would appear really, really dark because the lighting was against the camera. So that's a tip, have the camera the side of the lighting. Obviously you want to make the background nice to look at. Obviously I have the picture of Barney. I mean, you literally just can't get mad at Barney. Like, look at that. You can't not smile at that pillow. I don't know why I always have that in the background, but, and I don't know, I mean the wooden closet in the door, it doesn't look terrible. I think it's just an okay background. I mean, it would look better with a 100k plaque, but then it actually comes to sitting down in this chair and talking to you. Now, I'll show you what I'm looking at. So this is exactly what I'm looking at. So it's a tripod with the camera on the top. So as you notice, the camera doesn't actually have a flip screen. It is a major problem. So I don't know if I'm in focus. So the little thing I do is I grab my pillow and I'll put it here with the Man United badge on the top where my face usually would be. And then I would try and make the camera in focus on the pillow, on the Man United badge, because that's usually where my face is. I would look behind and I can't actually, it's a struggle to see it. I actually have to stand up on the desk, look behind and check I'm in focus. And then if the pillow's in focus, I then chuck it away. You guys have no idea about that. And then I sit back and I literally just hope that everything's okay. It could come out that it's completely out of focus, and sometimes it does, but that's that. And that tactic has actually proved to be effective. So there's another tip if you don't have a flip up screen. I just wanted to tell you guys that every single piece of equipment I use is in the description of the video. If you're in America, use the America link because it's in dollars, and if you're in UK, use the UK links. And the Rode microphone, it always comes up with some weird sound when I watch it back on edit. Like I don't know how to describe it. It's like this big intense sound that you probably notice. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm too close. I'm not sure. I don't know, I don't really like it. But other than that, it's a good microphone. There is something you need to do. Obviously remember to always switch the microphone on, because you could just be talking here and no sound is coming because you forgot to switch on the microphone, which is always very fun. So now we're gonna move on to how I record some FIFA. So what I would have to do is go upstairs and get the PlayStation, because PlayStation is our family PlayStation that I have to always bring downstairs. So gotta go get that. Right, so now I've got it. Now I've got to plug it in. So the PlayStation, I've just plugged it all in, so I'll just give you a quick tour of what it all looks like. Big extension lead that plugs it in. There's PlayStation in there, and then the capture card I have is an VideoMic portable. So you have to have one HDMI cable going in to in, and then one coming from out into the TV, not the TV, the monitor. And then you've got to have another lead that plugs back into the PlayStation, and then you would switch everything on and it will come up on FIFA 19 on here. And as I said, this is the family PlayStation, this is my brother's old monitor, he's at university, and then I would literally just sit here. Controller is always out of charge because my brother never charges them, so it has to always be plugged in, and I'll just play on the screen and talk to you. And that'll be that for setting it up. I'm not gonna record something here because, actually you know what? Let's do it. So get the TV remote, switch it on. Might need to insert the disc.
Oh, well done.
So FIFA's just loaded up, so I'll just show you what goes on in recording the gameplay. So go to the VideoMic and just press this in, and when it goes red, dark red, light red, it's like faded, that means it is recording. I would obviously switch the camera on, as I've explained. Some people have different ways. I just vary each time really. I would say to the camera, right, left, right, or kick off, ultimate team, kick off, something like that, and then it's all synced up. Like I did on the computer with the hitting the desk, it's just all synced up, and then it's much smoother to edit. And then I go through and record the Hazman episode where I do the gameplay, open the packs, etc. It's literally just me. After that, it's just me sat here playing, talking to you, nothing else special. That other media in there, I mean, I would say I recommend it, but you have to stop and start it recording like every 5 minutes, or the footage just corrupts. I've noticed this. So in between a match, I'll be 20 minutes through, oh, stop, start, and then I have to play again. So it's a bit hectic, but that's what it is. I put in the face cam from the FIFA into the project, and I edit that in a separate thing. So the football challenges and the FIFA, they're both edited in separate projects, or the Mac crashes. So then I share that whole thing to master file. So overall, I have about 4 different projects, and then I put them all into one, and then I have one big one. Does that make sense? Say me hitting the desk is the overall video. What I'll then go do, this is actually the fun bit. This is where you get to upload it to YouTube, and this is the very fun bit, I find. It's the best bit. So you go to YouTube. Actually, that's something I probably should bring in as well. My internet is so slow that if I wanted to get a video up for 6 PM, I would have to start uploading at about 4 o'clock, about 2 hours before, to get it up in time. So that's another problem. And then it's probably about 5 o'clock-ish now. So that means William, my little brother's coming back from school, and he'll want to go on the PlayStation. So I've got to then bring the PlayStation back upstairs. So then we do that. I think that's actually pretty much it. And then it's just, you get the video out, and you enjoy reading all the feedback, looking at all the comments, and all the messages from Instagram saying that they love the video, hopefully. I mean, you never know. That's pretty much it. And I think if I was to put a time frame on how long it takes to do everything, I think the whole morning to about 1 o'clock will be spent doing a football challenge, and then you have to edit it, which takes about 3 hours. So if I were to do a FIFA and football part in one video, that would take more than a day. Hopefully you understand now why. I think people underestimate how much editing there is to do, because some people just think, oh, you're just playing football and then you upload it. There's probably about 4 or 5 hours worth of editing that goes into it, and half of it's just syncing it up. But yeah, hopefully that has been helpful. And if you want a more in-depth on how to edit, then please let me know. I don't want to go too in-depth because I understand some people find that a bit dull. But if you do want me to do a full in-depth, then please do let me know. I'm not amazing at editing, but I think I have some understanding. And if you just want any other type of helpful YouTube making video, then do let me know, because I actually enjoy showing you guys what I've learned. Like, all this stuff to do with video production, I've taught myself, and I'm not saying that in a bragging way. All the stuff you can learn, like how to edit, that you just type that into YouTube and you get a tutorial, and then you just spend a day learning. It's not too complicated, like the base editing stuff. So hopefully you did find this helpful, and if you did, let me know. Like if you enjoyed, I'll see you later.